It is our first flight with the Autel Evo Max 4T. I can't wait to get this thing up in the air. I hope you're excited too. Don't go anywhere. Hey everybody, David here from Aerial Influence. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today we are talking about the Autel Evo Max 4T. We're not just talking about it, we're gonna take it up for its first flight. We've been waiting for this drone for quite a while, and it's interesting because it kind of fits in this place, in this void that needs to be filled. It's sort of in between the size of a Mavic and the size of the M30T. So that's a really interesting drone, but I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm gonna get this drone up in the air. Let's start flying. All right, so you guys can see the screen as well as the remote. Obviously here, real quick, I just want to show you, I'm flying with this giant remote. It really is massive, really nice remote, really bright screen. I'm in sunlight right now and I can see it really well. So right now I am, let's go up a little higher. At 200 feet, you can see that in the bottom right corner, 217 feet above ground level. So, all right, we're straight above me right now. So what I want to do first is let's go through the zoom lens. So right over here on the right-hand side by the record button, you can see you can zoom there if you'd like to zoom right there. But you can also do it with the scroll wheel on top of the remote. So there's a scroll wheel right up here. So you can actually do it and you can control it from right there as well. I'll show you here. Let me pick something. I'm gonna pick something that maybe we can really see. This thing has 160 times zoom, which is why I kind of want to really talk about that. Let's see what this building is. So that's your zoom, that's 160 times. It's got a 10 times optical zoom, so that's actually very good, the optical side, that you're getting 10 times for that. But let's see if we can find something more interesting. All right, so I found a water tower. I want to zoom into that. Maybe we'll be able to read. Over here to the left. The further you zoom, the harder it is to control the camera. So we can't quite read it, but you are zooming really, really far. So the further you zoom in, the harder it is to control. Also, the further you zoom in, the more digital it's gonna get. So it's gonna get real blocky, obviously, but still, like at 160 times zoom, you are not gonna have to get close to anything if you don't want to. So you can keep your distance far away, and that's a good thing. Let's see. Flipping from zoom to your thermal is really simple. It's up in the left-hand corner. You're gonna hit IR, and that is gonna flip things over. So right now we're in black hot, I think. Hold on, sorry. And it's really easy to change it. If you see up here at the top of the screen under where it says screenshot, right under there, there's like a little tab that's got 3 little cards, it looks like. So you touch on that. So right now we're in black hot. You can change it over any of the palettes that you want. There are several of them here. White hot and black hot are what our police and fire departments are typically using, though. Let me bring it down just a little bit so you guys can kind of get a look of what the thermal looks like. shooting over top of me. So right now we are at 124 feet. Let's see what it looks like up at 400. Oop. Sorry, coming down. It did not stop me there. Okay, we are at 385. I'll have to check that. For some reason, it did not stop me at 400 feet, but I'm sure that's a setting that I have to figure out. All right, so I'm going to walk around here just so you can see that the thermal does a great job. It's also got, you can zoom as well. I believe it's 16 times on the thermal. And that obviously is going to get really blocky the more you zoom in. Yeah, so 16 times on your thermal. Again, I don't know how useful the 16 times is going to be because it is very, very blocky. So you can certainly see the heat signature walking around still from 400 feet all the way zoomed in 4.4 times. So let's zoom back out on the thermal side. And it's interesting because you can actually see the shadows here. If you look, I'll switch it over to the color camera for a second. But you can actually see on the thermal that it's a little cooler where there's shade. I'll switch it back over. Like on the top of the roof there, you can see that there's some trees that are covering, like on top of the building, you can see that there are some trees that are giving it some shade because they're a cooler spot. So that's kind of neat. Just shows you what it can actually do. Here's a look at some of the other palettes again. And you can actually touch on the screen and it's going to tell you the temperature of that specific pixel. So that's pretty cool as well. All right, let's see here. The next thing that I thought was pretty interesting is the AI recognition. So let's see. I'm going to click on that. Now, right now, it's just, so there you see it can see a car. It could tell what that was a vehicle moving. I'm going to look down at me. You can see there are two cars there. It's not seeing me right now. It should pick me. There we go. So the more I zoomed in a little bit, it could see me. It could detect me. Now, in the future, this will likely be used to do some sort of tracking. So like the Matrice 30T does tracking, and so does the M300 with the H20T. But it does tracking, so you can click on an object and it will, using its zoom lens, it will follow that object, whether it's a person or a car. It recognizes it and will continue to track it until that thing goes behind a building or some trees or whatever. So this is going to have a similar function. It's not quite ready yet. It's not included in the initial release of this. I'm sure there'll be an update soon that will allow for that. So that is pretty cool though. The AI recognition can tell between people and cars. I'll go up one more time. We'll take a look at the road and see. Let's find some cars. Oh, there's a whole bunch of cars. It sees a person standing over here. It sees a bunch of cars in the parking lot there. It sees the golfers standing way over there. So that's a long way. And it's recognizing that there are golfers all the way on the other side of the golf course. So yeah, interesting on that. All right, let's see. Oh, let's see laser rangefinder and how powerful that is. So you can see, I'll zoom out. We're a long way. We're not real close to this. Actually, we're 1,244 feet away. You can see that using the laser rangefinder. It's telling you how far away that building is, and it's telling you its GPS location. So that is really interesting. You think of the applications for like search and rescue with something like that, you know, that could be a great thing to get the GPS location, because you can then call other people in your organization and say, hey, we need to go check out this specific location, this GPS location. So the laser rangefinder can be a very useful tool. Yeah, but you can see that's going to be a very useful tool for search and rescue. And again, this isn't the first drone to be able to do this, but this is a great addition to this drone, especially at the price point. You know, this drone is coming in at $9,000, and you know, closer to 10,000 once you add extra batteries, and then there will be additional add-ons to it. Like I'm sure there'll be a speaker spotlight, or at least like a speaker and a spotlight separately. Those things will be additional, but for 10 grand, you're basically getting the drone and 3 batteries, and that is a lot less than what you're going to be able to get the M30T for. So you're talking $6,000 to $8,000 less than what the M30T would cost you, depending on the batteries that you're going to get or the other additional stuff that you're wanting to buy. All right, so back to our flight. I'm going to turn the laser rangefinder off. I am going to look at our waypoints. So right now, waypoints is enabled, so you can go in and you can hit your corners and tell it exactly where you want it to fly. Tell it to fly in a square, it's going to fly. It's going to be completely automated, where you're going to hit go and it is going to go fly and go to the start point and then fly its route. So that is going to be good. Now, you can also save the mission. You can come back and fly it over and over again if you have to, or if you need to, but that is a great thing, having waypoints. This is going to also be pretty rich when it comes to the mapping as well. We'll do that in another video, but your mission planning for like orthomosaic mapping, you know, accident reconstruction, things like that, those missions are going to be important, and we'll go over that in a different video. But right now, you've got your waypoints up there. You've got a place where you can hit missions, and that's where any saved missions are going to be. Or if you've uploaded a mission, you can do that as well. This is where you'll find that. That is up on the top left corner as we go along. You've also got your auxiliary light. So this is going to turn on your landing light. So say you're up in the air and for some reason you need a little bit of light shed on the situation, you can hit this. It's automatically going to come on when you start landing. When you come down to like 10 feet, the landing light will come on. But if you need to turn it on for some reason, you can do that with the auxiliary light. I'm going to not use it right now though. Really easy to switch back and forth between images here. So you can see the map is in the bottom left corner. I'm going to click on that. Now we can see exactly where we're at. You can see there's an airplane somewhere near me. It's going to be very high up is my guess. Now, something really cool that they got going on with this in terms of your actual screen is you've got your split screen. So you can have thermal on one side, you can have your color camera on the other side, but now you can also go to 3 screens. So you can have your map there, you can have your color camera, and you can have your thermal all up at one time. For situational awareness, this can be a really, really great tool that you can use actually. So it splits it all up. Now, another thing that's interesting about this is it actually is going to record both of these cameras, both the zoom and the IR cameras. So you're going to have the ability to record both of those. You can turn that off if you don't want to use it, but you can record both of those images at the same time. So basically you record a video, when you come back and pop it into your computer, you're going to have both a thermal and a color image of that. So that's a good thing as well. Okay, you can also see on the upper right hand side of the screen, not only do you have your remote battery life, you have your RC signal, you have your GPS signal, you have your drone power that you got still going on, or the amount of battery you have left, and it shows that you've got your obstacle avoidance turned on. Next to that is another little gear there. This is going to give you all sorts of information. So you've got your flight, return to home altitude, anything from your flight to your obstacle avoidance settings, your RC, your gimbal, anything that you're going to want to find, you're going to find in here in terms of settings. Below that, you can see you can take a screenshot of your screen. You can record the screen, which is what I'm doing right now. Adjust the brightness. Defog is literally, if it's foggy out, it's going to help you see through the fog. And then you got night mode. So we'll do a video on night mode later. Want to see how good that does at night. Autel actually has another drone called the Autel Evo Max 4N that's going to be even better for nighttime. That's got a whole different camera on it, but we will come back and do a video on night mode. Now you can see also next to that, it says more. You can go to your album, you can contact support, or you can turn on and off your beacon. So that's a good thing. You can also add other shortcuts. So you can see we're doing pretty good on battery life. I've been recording this screen for almost 30 minutes, and we've got 13 minutes left. So about 13 minutes of flight time left. So you can see battery life is pretty good. I did start the recording probably a minute before we took off. So right now we're looking at 27, let's call it 27 minutes of flight time. We've got 13 minutes left. Let me just take you on a little flight. I am at 362, yeah, plenty high enough. If you've flown an Autel drone or a DJI drone for that matter, the controls are gonna be very familiar to you. You're in mode 2, obviously. Drone flies really smooth. Right now I'm in standard mode. I didn't want to get it up to ludicrous mode because I'm not a big fan of turning off those sensors. And I've barely got it in my line of sight still. We'll flip it over to IR. There's a bit of a zoom on that IR. It really crops it in there. I don't know what you guys think. The thermal looks good to me. It looks like it's on par with, make sure I don't fly over any of these cars. It's on par with anything I think you're going to see from DJI, any of the other Autel drones, the Evo drones that have come out. 640 by 512. That's the resolution. That's as high as you're going to get on a consumer or enterprise drone these days. Obviously, the government probably has higher resolution than what we're able to get. But you guys can see this drone is flying really nice. It's very smooth, easy to fly. We'll come back my way. Really like this drone a lot. Let's see if we can find another golfer down here. That is impressive. Nice shot, buddy. And let's turn on the AI recognition. Yeah, you can see, you can't even touch on them right now. Like I said, once they get that tracking function down, I think that is what this is going to be used for. But that is an impressive zoom range. So, and let's see what the thermal looks like from here. It looks horrible. That's because it's all the way zoomed out or zoomed in. All right. Let's see. Can I see those guys? I can barely, but it's like blocks. So that's way too far, obviously, to use thermal. You can see it on the houses and things. You can see the heat on the top of the houses. It is sunny out right now. Back into the zoom. Let's see. We'll do the laser rangefinder. So you can see as soon as it catches a building or something, it's, so right now whatever we're pointing at is too far, but I'm going to come down, we're going to hit a building, and all of a sudden you're going to see it pop up. And I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. I'm not sure what MS. I know it's sea level, but I'm not sure what the M is for. Usually it's above sea level. So the aircraft battery is low. It's saying it's going to return to home. I don't want it to return to home because I'm very close. It's at 20%, so we've really got a little more battery life left in us. But you can see the laser rangefinder is pretty great. You point it at an object, it's going to tell you exactly the location of that object. And it'll actually, in the top left corner, if you can see there, it's going to tell you the exact GPS location of the drone and of the remote control as well. So you're getting a ton of information here. I really like the app. I really like this new Autel app. I think that they've come a long way from the last one. And I like it very much. So the drone is now just deciding to return to home. I could cancel it if I want to, but I think we're doing good here. All right, so I brought the drone down, but gotta say, really impressed with this drone, with this smart controller, and with their app. I think Autel has come a really long way with this release. I think a lot of people are going to look at this as an alternative to the Mavic 3 and the M30T. I think this kind of fits right in the middle there, and I think it's going to interest a lot of people. So if you're interested in purchasing this drone, the information is on the bottom of your screen. Make sure you give us a call and hit like and subscribe if you don't mind. We work really hard on these videos, and we appreciate it very much, and we appreciate you stopping by. Make sure you do it again. We'll see you next time.